Final Furlong Podcast is proudly brought to you by Jeff Banks Bet. Get up to £500 refunded as real money for new Jeff Banks online accounts after your first month of betting. Use promo code FFP500 at jeffbanks.bet.
Day 2 of the Christmas racing at Kempton. We will begin with the 155, the Ladbrokes Wayward Lad, Novices Chase, Ballyburn and Sergino. It's on. You can throw in Rubod here as well, who was supposed to make his debut in a proper graded race, and they're going to do it anyway. He's currently entered. Caliph de Burle is a horse who came into the season with a big reputation. Didn't quite happen for him on debut, but he was, I thought, decent enough on his second start over fences. But Ballyburn versus Sergino. Adam Mills, your thoughts on a clash between two horses who could very easily have ended up taking each other on in the Champion Hurdle. Instead, it's a novice chase at Kempton.
It is a novice chase at Kempton, and this is the ultimate kind of Kevin Keegan, Alex Ferguson psyching each other out moment where Nicky Anderson's decided we're going to throw Sergino in over fences. Willie sent Ballyburn. I can see why Willie sent Ballyburn here, because I think Ballyburn is probably a 3-mile chaser of the future, and they want to get speed into him, so they've come to probably the fastest chase track they could find to try and get him ready for an Arkle, because I just think Willie's desperate to avoid having to run in the RSA or the Brown Advisor, whatever that race is called. So for me, Ballyburn's got the experience. Sergino's never been right-handed before. Do I want to back Ballyburn at evens? I don't know. I wasn't really sold by that debut as being sort of this wow superstar performance. So I think if Sergino goes off sort of 5-4, 6-4, he's worth a bet, because they had plenty of other options for Sergino. They're obviously confident enough to come here. And I think he might be faster than Ballyburn over the bare 2 miles, in which case I'm betting on whether or not he'll jump as well. I just think Sergino might be the real deal. And I think he might be the 2-miler, and Ballyburn will end up in trim.
Whoa! I was not expecting that. I agree with you that Ballyburn's long-term prospects will be over further, but I thought with the benefit of the chase experience, that Ballyburn would be near enough a good thing for this race. Peter Michael, what's your thoughts?
Well, I mean, they're two absolute superstars in my mind, but I couldn't bet against Ballyburn. I think he's an absolute beast, and 2 miles, 2 miles forward, 3 miles. If he stands up this season, if he runs his races, I just can't see anything beating him. I think he's an absolute beast. So it'll be Ballyburn for me. And that's something against Sergino. How could you not like the horse? He's an absolute class act. But there's no way I could ever bet against Ballyburn, because I think he's an absolute monster.
I guess if you wanted to be hypercritical, you could say his only defeat came on a flat track, but it was his first run of the season last year over hurdles at Fairyhouse.
Yeah, but that race was a messy race. Tannend even said it afterwards.
Yeah.
It was basically gifted to Firefox. He's in a different league to Firefox. And that's, again, nothing against Firefox. He's a pretty classy animal. But watch it again. And Firefox had fitness advantage and everything.
Yeah, I agree.
So put a line through that.
I agree. Yeah. And some of, even Factifile got turned over. Was that a beer? That is a beer. Hold on a second.
This, yeah. Oh, good man.
If you're... Hold up. Wait a minute. This is now the opportunity for everybody. Beer. Hey, Adam Mills is getting in on it too, baby.
Unlike you, I'm a professional. This is water.
Yeah, so. Yeah. You mean triple distilled 5 shots of vodka mixed in with a bit of water. Sláinte, everybody. Sláinte. Okay. Does Andy Newton have one? Is that a beer?
Yes. Well, a little bit left.
Let's go.
Andy, give us the stat about that beer.
The stat?
Yeah.
But in about 5 seconds, it's... Yeah.
Good man, that's what I like to hear.
That's the shot.
I'm not doubting it.
Okay. For YouTube guidelines and all that, drink responsibly and all that, blah, 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 blah. You're smart enough to be able to look after yourselves. You're not idiots. You know what the story is. You know what the time of the day is. And hey, it's the festive season. Let's try and have some fun, shall we? Okay, Ballyburn for Peter. Sergino very much for Adam. Where is Andy going to sit? Which camp?
Well, Sergino, it has gone over hurdles at Kempton. When we talk about it, not going that way round and so on. So I think the track will be okay. But as Adam said, we are literally just banking on all of this super duper hype of how well it's been, schooling at home and this, that and the other. And, if you take that on trust, then that has to be the slight value here. I mean, Ballyburn did get a few critics with the Chase debut at Punchestown. A lot of people, was it that impressive? What did it beat? Blah blah blah. And as you said, Emmett, I mean, is Kempton going to suit it? I don't know. Over 2 miles, is it just going to be? I don't know. Is Sergino just going to be too quick for it? If this jumping is as good as Hendo says, then I don't know. For me, Sergino is what. We've got the Arkle betting. I think it's 5-1 roughly for the Arkle.
Okay.
Ballyburn is sort of been, since that debut run, has sort of creeping out a tiny bit. I think it was 6-4, 7-4, before that, and now it's probably, I think there's 11-4 in places for the Arkle. So yeah, look, I'm happy just to take the Hendo word on trust with the jump in, take on Sergino. I just think
6-1.
too much pace for that.
6-1 with Jeff Banks bet about Sergino.
6-1, yeah, and Ballyburn, yeah, not. I mean, that was a short. It was less than 2s when it Ballyburn. I think in a lot of places before that run, it's Chase debut at Punchestown. But yeah, it looks like a bit of a tools race, obviously, and it's great that Ballyburn's coming over. The Kempton race goes on the day after Boxing Day. Are going to have a nice little treat there. But yeah, Sergino for me, just because of the track.
2 for Sergino, 1 for Ballyburn, and 1 for Rhubarb. He goes and crushes them. Paul Nichols, this is the... No, Ballyburn wins.
Did you just start drinking, Emmet, or were you drinking earlier?
Yeah.
Rhubarb
you liked it.
These 2 horses.
Yeah, you liked it before, it came out, didn't it? And you liked it. When it was not run last time.
Oh, if Rhubarb beats these horses,
if he beats the 2 of these, then these 2 just should be struck off from Cheltenham straight away. Just forget about it.
If he beats them, I'll do any dare you want for the next show.
Oh, don't go. Hey, this could be one of those. And Ballyburn is down at the last and takes out Sergino, and Rhubarb comes along 10 lengths behind and comes along to win, and then you're screwed.
Hang on, we've got to lock in 3 dare surely for this, because this is like a no lose bet here.
No, it's the Christmas special. We're not doing it to him. No way.
He can't beat them. No, he can't beat them. There's no chance.
The show is split in 2 here. Right, Adam and Andy are adamant it's going to be Sergino. Peter and I, who happen to be on the same side, bizarrely enough, visually, that is, if you're watching on YouTube, are firmly in the Ballyburn camp. He wins. And he could have started stuff around Leopardstown if HRI hadn't messed up with the racing calendar. But we won't dwell on that too much. That's a conversation for another show. We'll go to the Desert Orchid Handicap Chase, where the betting is headed by Boot Hill. Second run after a wind-up for Harry Fry and Brian Carver. He's a pretty short price, around about 9-4. Editor Dujit is going for his 3rd consecutive win in this race. He'll be running off 10 stone 13 this year as opposed to 11 stone 9 last year, and he's 12-1. Does that make any appeal to you, Adam, or is there something else here for you?
Editor Dujit doesn't really appeal. I think if you start backing horses with lots of P's in their form, you're only going one way. I can't. He might get it out in front and do his thing, but I thought Sons Brute would probably go forward as well. It's going to set this up quite nicely. Part of me looked at this and thought maybe there's a class edge here with Edwardstone and Boot Hill, and that Schlur chase was a bit messy, but John Bond's done his bit for the form. Boot Hill had a faster top speed on the day and a faster final furlong than John Bond. But I just wonder I'm not sure Boot Hill is good enough these days to give £9 to Martyr Tour, who's just continuously improving for Venetia Williams. The form of his Ascot win has already taken a big boost with Copmask going in. And I just thought at the weights, Martyr Tour was the more obvious one. And I was quite happy to take the 11-4.
Yeah, I want to be with him until it's very clear to no longer be with him. He broke my heart when he came over, first of all. There was a lot of talk that this was potentially a star horse. And he just kept on getting beaten. But once he started to roll, the improvement is non-stop. He's gone from 118 to 140. I'm with you. I think he'll win again, especially with Vinicius Williams' team in the form that they're in. Peter, for you?
To be honest, I won't be betting in this. I don't know what to make of it. I mean, as Adam said, the class edge you have there with Edwardstone and Boot Hill, but they've fallen too. But each of them have fallen twice out of the last 4 runs, and they're getting older as well. So it's hard to back them. Martator, of course, is improving. He's up £11 for his last win. Ned Fox took up 5, so he's up 16. As Adam said, the form is being franked, so I can see the angle there. But I just don't know. It's quite confusing. I wouldn't be surprised if Soul Icon ran well at a price, but yeah, I'll just sit this one out, lads. I don't know. That's just basically the truth.
I appreciate the honesty. I appreciate the honesty from you, from Adam, and from you, Peter. If you don't know, you don't know, and that's okay.
I don't know, yeah. I just can't figure it out. So.
And there is no point in having a bet if you don't actually know. That being said, no Andy, you are not allowed to fence it. Who's going to win?
Well, I'm cut and paste what Adam said to pretty much identical. I mean, look, it'll be nice to see Editor. I love Gary, blah, blah, blah. It'll be nice to see that one bounce back, and it'll probably give it a good go, being a past champ of this. But look, Boot Hill fallen a couple of times, as we know. Edwardstone fell last time in the Tingle Creek. But look, yeah, as you said, form of the Martador win last time out, got franked at the weekend by, actually one of Gary's horses, that coat mask. And just get the improver, younger legs. 6 of the last 7 have been won by an 8-year-old or younger in this race. So yeah, a few of them on the way out. In my opinion, Martador on the way up.
Yeah, I want to be with the horse who's on the way up in the ascendancy, and I think it's very much him. I'm with both of you. We'll briefly touch on the future champions novice hurdle. Blue Devassi is 9-4. Romeo Coolio is the same price. Okay. Carniquet 7-2. Canafron 5s. Sia Sands a 10-1 shot. We had a conversation, Adam, about Sia Sands not that long ago. I get the feeling he's going to be more of a handicap prospect. It's not going to be easy to get him into one, but keep running him in these kind of races, and eventually he'll have racked up enough experience to actually have the 5 runs to go and hopefully land a big handicap somewhere along the line. But there's a couple of very interesting ex-French horses here, and a couple of horses that you and I talked about not so long ago. So who takes your fancy here?
Well, I was kind of hoping Salvatore Mundi would turn up here so I could oppose him, but he's not. I like Carniquet, but 7-2 is kind of, he was 8-1 anti-post. I'd had a bit more courage. I just really like the way Carniquet won at Tremor. It was effectively a bumper. The low sun that day meant they only jumped 3 hurdles, but his time was really good. His final circuit time was much quicker than the actual bumper. The form's nothing exceptional, but I thought the fact they were going to run Carniquet in this suggested to me that they see Carniquet as more of a graded horse rather than a handicap plot. The obvious horse to watch is Sea of Sands. This is run number 3. They're going to be squeezing them in, but I think there's just about enough time to get him ready for the county hurdle and to sort of roll in there in sort of the low 140s. So Sea of Sands is the one to watch, but I thought Carniquet would at least beat Romeo Coolio, so he's probably still a touch of value.
Yeah, I'm with you on Carniquet. I like Blue Devassi. I don't like him at 9-4, though, unless Peter Michael is going to come along with a massive degree of confidence here.
Well, I like him. I think he's a pretty smart hurdler. He's 2 for 2. He's impressed me both times. But the thing with this race is you just don't know the improvement the Mullins horses are going to have. And we've seen it before. It wouldn't surprise me if he wins it with his outsider, the 3. I think it's 3 has in there. So it's hard to know because these horses are all open to so much improvement. So it's, it's a race I wouldn't be punting in too heavily if I was punting in. But if I was punting in, Blue Devassi would be the one I'd go for. You would expect you would obviously respect Mullins' horses and Romeo Coolio, who lost last time at 1-2. But the value, not like he's probably priced accordingly around 9-4. But for me, he's the one to beat. But I wouldn't be surprised if he's beaten. But to have a selection here, that's the one I'd go for because I have been impressed with his 2 hurdles win, and I had him earmarked as a pretty smart novice hurdler. So he'd be the one I go for, Blue Devassi. That's
fair enough. 9-4 is the bet currently available.
It's tight, yeah. It's a tight price because we don't know the improvement in the Mullins horses, But he's the one to beat, put it like that.
Yeah, for sure. And 9-4 is one of the best around currently with Jeff Banks' bet. Andy, 6 of the last 10 of these races has gone to Willie Mullins. 3 of the last 5 to Gordon Elliott. Who's going to come out on top this time?
yeah, all of the last 9 have gone there, and let's be honest, it's gonna be all of the last 10 after this one. Look, Romeo Coolio probably, just looked a bit at one pace, didn't it? Didn't not really ever turn a foot last time when the bubble burst at Fairy House. So 20-1 still for the Supreme, if you fancy that, if you fancy it to bounce back. Interesting angle there, Adam, with Sia Sands, and that's to get into the county, like you say. I mean, it did ran the Cesarewitch or something. Was it Cesarewitch or the Cambridgeshire? I can't remember. Ran the flat, didn't he? It was favourite for one of those as well. But yeah, look, I think Blue Devassy's the sort of solid one. Is impressed at Navan last time out, 2 from 2. Probably more to come. Slightly more experience than the others over hurdles, and yeah, I'll take that one if I was having a punt. Probably won't in this race though. But yeah, Blue Devassy. Okay,
Carnicate for me, but it's a tentative Lucky 31, Lucky 63 selection. Very, very briefly, I wanted to go through the Paddy's Rewards Club chase. There's a couple of interesting horses to talk about, none more so than Gaelic Warrior, who completely blew his gasket at Leopardstown at the Dublin Racing Festival. He was done in the parade ring before the race even began. Factophile was obviously hugely impressive that day, but Gaelic Warrior didn't turn up. Was then really impressive in the Arkle, and then didn't turn up at Punchestown when Ilete Tomp was able to turn the form around with him. He's the odds-on favourite for this race. Do you trust him, Adam Mills?
I have enough trust in him. I mean, he doesn't necessarily float everyone's boat, and he can be gassy and he can get excited, and he's just, there is every chance that the same thing would happen again. Do I really want to take such a short price about him here? I'm not so sure. I'm having to come to the conclusion that John Bond might win the champion chase. I don't really like him, but I just can't find something conclusive to take him on. I'm hoping Gaelic Warrior goes well here. Founder 50 hasn't done a lot wrong, but I don't know whether race fitness is enough to think he's going to reverse that Arkle form. But I might have to have a punt on Marine Nationale here, which is really, it's risky because, Barry Connell is another one of these trainers who talks a good talk, but the horse has won 6 of his 8 starts. He got beat by Calixios last time on his first start for 9 months. Calixios ran pretty well in that Tingle Creek. His only time he's really disappointed was in the Irish Arkle, and he was off since. I know he's got wind issues, and he's clearly not the absolute superstar that we thought he was, and he can pull apart his supreme form if he wanted to. But I just thought they appear to be fairly confident to be turning him round after 50 days. And I'm just not sure that he should be 7-1 in this field, because I don't think there's a long-term plan with Marine Nationale. I think it's a race-by-race plan. And he's come out of the Nace race and they've decided to come here, and it'd be win only because he's just likely to pull up, but I thought 7-1 was a bit too big.
How?
And I am perfectly sober.
How strong is this alcohol? Because, sorry, lads, something's gone wrong, right? I might have made a mistake by having a drink, because I'm starting to hallucinate. I'm pretty certain I just heard Adam Mills tip Marine Nationale for a grade 1. But that can't be. I can't really have heard that. So maybe I need to stop drinking. Peter, who did you hear Adam tip?
I'm so drunk I can't even hear anything, Emmet.
And Andy, who did you hear? Who did you hear Adam tip?
I'm surprised with that jumper on, Peter. Jesus. Yeah, unfortunately, I heard him in Nationale. But,
I need to get more drunk then.
Adam, you made a great case. He made a
very strong case. He could be right. I mean, you can make the argument Calixios didn't exactly let the form down. He ran pretty well in the Tingle Creek. And you're not talking about 2-1, you're talking about 6-1.
Yeah, but to be fair, you three just looked at me like when I said to the missus, should we go to football on Boxing Day? And she just looked and went, no.
No, look, I see your point.
It's like as I was making my case, there's just this look of like, no, move on.
Look, I see your point, because it's value. You could argue he's value because, I mean, for example, I think Gaelic Warrior is the most likely winner, but would I back him at 11-10? No, I wouldn't.
No.
So, you know what I mean? So it's a bit of value. if he comes back to his best or near his best, he'll have a good chance. So I can see where Adam's coming from. But then again, he could just totally bomb out. So it's one of those.
I just went checking his record on the ground, and as I was looking at it, I went, it doesn't matter, he can't breathe. I don't know. Good luck to you, mate. Good luck to you. You might be right.
He looked to me the last time, I don't know if it was but he just looked to me as a horse who was feeling something. That's what I took from the last race. He just looked as if a horse who was feeling something.
I'll tell you.
Maybe he needs a doctor. I don't know.
This really might be me doing a Christina Ricci, like desperately reaching. I thought the whole Michael O'Sullivan thing was really, really weird, and I thought there was more to it than... I thought that came out of frustration. You've got this horse. He's the next big superstar. He can do everything. Oh, wait. He can't. And he was supposed to run in the St. Leger. Was he even entered for it? The Irish St. Leger? I don't know. I agree. I think Adam is spot on. I haven't heard anybody, and maybe somebody else has said it, I haven't heard anybody say this is a race-by-race basis with Marine Nationale. I think that's spot on. It is a race-by-race basis. And in that instance, with Sean Flanagan out there to prove a point, maybe this is the race. Maybe it's a... Gaelic Warrior aside, it's a poor race. Cover your ears, Noel and Valerie Moran. It's a poor race. So yeah, hey, 6-1. See, 6-1. Maybe. All right, Andy, your thoughts?
It probably either bounces back or it'll just leave out and not even place, won't it? I mean, that's the obvious sort of.
It's all duck or no dinner.
Yeah, exactly. But like as Adam said, it has still won 6 of its 8 races. So look, there are going to be plenty of people that will be keeping the faith. Adam, one of them. But yeah, look, Gaelic Warrior, look, that's the obvious one. But returning to the scene of the crime, you take that on trust. But yeah, it has won over hurdles there, and all this talk about left-handed and stuff, and blah blah blah, and jumping out. It proved that wrong at Cheltenham. So there's going to be plenty of people with that. But look, I think there's enough runners in there. There's going to be a lot of sort of each way value. I mean, Dino Blue looks a banker to be played, surely. I mean, it's never been out of the top 3 in all its 12 chase races. Won this race last year, didn't she? Gets £7 off the others. So I think that's probably the bet, really, with the unknown with Gaelic, whether it's going to play up again. Marine Nationale, we don't know what one's going to turn up. Founder 50 is probably going to run a solid race, but I think Dino Blue plays for me. I don't know what you'll get, maybe about even money or something, top 3.
So I could be wrong. I don't think it's soft enough for her. And I might be very wrong about that. And JP flew into Cork. He was there. He was there for the Hilly Way, and he was there for her. Didn't quite happen, but maybe it'll happen in this race. She was backed very strongly as well. So maybe this is the race where she'll go and do it. I don't know. Maybe I'm the one who's lost my mind. But that price about Founder 50, 4-1, I'll take that. That's the scumbag each way bet to me. Yeah, I'll take him. He won at this meeting last year. He was a close second in the Irish St. Leger, Jesus Christ. The Irish Oracle at Leopardstown. I know he jumps out to his right, and he did it on his seasonal comeback, but he's bound to improve for that run. And I'll take the 4s about him. But it's not a race I'm super duper confident about. I'm genuinely confused by Adam's prediction about Marine Nationale. Peter Michael, can you just settle this for us, please? Who's going to win?
Well, it's funny because if I'm picking one, I'd say Gaelic Warrior, but I wouldn't back him with the price.
Yeah, that's the problem.
So Gaelic Warrior is going to win, but he's no value. Now, are you more confused now?
Never mind me. What about our poor listeners and viewers? They're like, what the hell is going on?
Well, look, I think he's going to win, but I couldn't advise anyone to back him at 11-10. So, I think he's the most likely. I think he's the most likely winner, but I don't think he's much value. I don't really see any value in the race. I can see where Adam's coming from with Marine Nationale.
Yeah, I can see it too.
You could argue Captain Guinness is a bit of value, but he'll be tanking as he normally does, and if something happens to the others, he could pick up the pieces like he did. I think it was at Cheltenham. But look, Gaelic Warrior is by far the most likely winner in my mind. But hopefully he can drift out to around 6-4, 7-4. Then he could be worth the bet. but around 11 to 10, he's very tight.
Do you want to back
He's the most
Gaelic
likely
Warrior at 11 to 8 on with Jeff Banks bet with Patrick Mullins on board?
What price is he with Jeffs?
11 to 8 on.
He's 8 to 11.
Yeah.
Oh no, Jesus! No, I'm seeing 11 to 10 here. No, I wouldn't go near that.
No.
Come on, Jeff.
We love Patrick. Big fans of Patrick.
Oh, nothing to do with Patrick. Yeah, no, I just wouldn't back him at 8 to 11.
No.
Wouldn't even think about it.
No.
But I still think he'll win.
All right, found a 50 scumbag each way bet for me. Scumbag each way bet for Adam is Marine Nationale. And Andy? Dino Blue.
Same scumbag each way, Dino Blue. So we're in the bets there.
So obviously Captain Guinness comes along and goes and wins.
I'd say Joseph O'Brien will probably win it with a 33 to 1 shot.
Who
That's
knows?
what will probably happen.
But yeah, probably will be. With not an ounce of tipping. No one saying anything about that horse beforehand. Adam, pick for me. Which one do you want to go for? First of all, the Welsh Grand National or the Irish version, the Paddy Power?
Oh, I'll take the Welsh National any day.
Okay, we are going straight to the Welsh Grand National. The betting with Jeff Banks bet is headed by Monbeg Genius for the John Joe Neal team. He is 4 to 1. Gallia Delato is an 11 to 2 shot. Where it all began, 7s. Fontaine Collonge 15 to 2. Jubilee Express 8s. I Will Do It 10 to 1. And Iron Bridge a 12 to 1 shot. Adam, who do you like in the Welsh Grand National?
There are a couple who just sort of caught my eye. It's quite an open renewal. I'm kind of the first one. I think that's the solid each way bet is Fontaine Collonges for Venetia Williams. I had it in my head that I wasn't going to back anything that ran on Betfair Chase Day because that ground looked absolutely horrendous. But I just think those are the conditions that the horse wants. He won the Roland Merrick at Wetherby this time last year. I forgive the run in the Classic Chase. I think they just came too soon. Came back out at Haydock, won pretty comfortably, up £8 to 148, but that should still be reasonably manageable. I thought Fontaine Collonge would be hard to keep out of the 4 if getting round, so that looked quite fair. The other one I'm going to take a tiny swing on is Paint the Dream. It just caught my eye. I don't know why. It's a very big ask to pick the top 2 in the weights and think they're going to come in. Paint the Dream is as big as 66s if you look around and try and find it. But I just thought on his first run for 21 months, he ran reasonably well for a long way at Cheltenham before he blew up. This is much more his bag. He's not what he once was. He's now rated 150. He reached a peak of 160 in 2022. He's now with David Brace. It's going to be a big ask under 12 stone, but I just felt there was a lot left to work on at Cheltenham, and I think he'll come on for it. Now, whether he bounces is obviously a big risk, but I just wonder if this trip is going to bring out a bit more improvement, and he just shouldn't be that big. So I have a tiny each-way saver, but my main bet is Fontaine Collonges.
Okay. Peter Michael, what do you like?
Yeah, well, I mean, don't need to say what a competitive race it is, but I think a bit of value, and I'd stress a bit, not major. I Will Do It around 20 to 1. I see Sam Thomas has booked Colin Pritchard a few days in advance. He was third in it last year. He was beaten 35 lengths, but I think what did Nasalam win it by? 34 lengths. So he's only beaten a length for second. He's getting older. He's basically 12. So life becomes harder for him, but he goes well fresh. He stays very well. And he was a horse that did relatively well in these staying handicaps last year and the year before. Well, last season and the season before. So he could outrun his odds at 20 to 1, and maybe as well the Gordon Elliott horse to Zucchini, if that takes its chance, that could outrun its odds as well. I thought he did it well last time at Navan. I think hold on, I don't want to get the name right. Yeah, the Troy Town. I thought he won that, nicely enough. And of course, we know the Irish horses coming over to the UK are to always be respected. So those are the two I'd go with. At 20 to 1 and 25 to 1, I Will Do It, and Stutzakini. But look, it's a very competitive race, so minimum stakes.
Okay, I Will Do It, who won this race off a mark of 140 in 2021. Andy Newton, for you in the Welsh Grand National.
Well, there are some sort of monster stats here, really. I mean, look, all of the last 22 had raced in the last 7 weeks, so that actually knocks out some of the fancy ones, i.e. Jubilee Express, where it all began. And I think the 2021 winner, I Will Do It, hasn't been out yet this season as well. Top 4 finish is another thing to look out for. 9 or younger is the sort of age stat. And then obviously being a handicap, the big weight one, I know Adam's put up the top 2 potentially in the weights, but we have to find out where the final runners, I think, probably coming out tomorrow. But look, 28 of the last 30, okay, so what's that, about 93% have carried 11.6 or less. So look, we had Native River that shouldered 11.12, but not many. I know last year Nassalam had 11.3, but really, it goes without saying over the trip and what is generally on soft ground, the weight 11.6 or less has been the sort of cut-off. So look, we've got another pass win in here, the Two Amigos. If it gets in, could be interesting off like a massive price. I think it's 40-1 here. Had a massive layoff, came back and ran okay last time at Haydock. Was pulled up, but when you watch that back, it ran well for probably 80 or 90% of the race and just got a bit tired. So I think it's come 5th in the race, 2nd in the race as well before in the past. That's an interesting one. Obviously that falls down on the age stat that we talked about. And then the other two, the Iron Bridge, 2nd last year. I know it got absolutely slammed, 34 lengths or something like that. But that's probably worth looking at. Gets in here with only 11 stone. And the Twiston Davis horse, the newest one, will get in here with a very low weight. Ticks a lot of the trends. I think barring coming top 4 last time out, ran 5th to King's Turgeon, I think, which is that looks like solid form to me. And Sam Twiston Davis, I think, gets the ride on it. Obviously, they've won this a few times in the past. Old Nigel with Bindari and Earth Summit back in the day. So yeah, the newest one, Two Amigos, I think is a massive price for a place. And Iron Bridge last year 2nd.
I think this is the easiest race of the day. Monbeg Genius.
What beer are you drinking? It must be good.
Monbeg Genius is an absolute stone cold solid moral. I understand the weight's an issue, but 11 stone 8 was carried to victory by, was it Elegant Escape? Yeah, 2018. Elegant Escape carried it. He loves Chepstow, unbeaten in 3 runs there. He didn't really get his ground last season. He'll get it in this race. It's Chepstow. It's already soft ground, and it's going to be soft ground probably on the day. Nick Schofield on board. That was a lovely comeback run behind Fontaine Calange. He'll need to step up, but Haydock could be tight enough for him. This race will set up beautifully for him. He'll win. He will win. I'd be bitterly disappointed if he doesn't. Okay. Moving on to the Irish one. The Irish version of the Welsh Grand National, which we're calling the Paddy Power Chase, or whatever stupid name they put on the race this year. Maybe it is just Paddy Power Chase. In any case, the betting is headed by 3-Card Bragg. Best of luck to Ella McNeil and the team. They are 8-1 with Jeff Banks bet currently to go and win this race. Meeting of the Waters, the defending champion, 8's Panda Boy, always fancied for this race every year, and fancied for it again. 9's Nick Rocket, 11-1. I love that horse. And whatever price you want about the rest. All right, let's start with Adam Mills. Paddy Power Chase, who do you like?
Well, this is the hardest race of the next week, isn't it? I thought this was really difficult. I would have a very small each-way view on Favre de Chamdoux. He is a Florida Pearl winner. Gordon Elliott's gone. First-time cheek pieces, £7 claimer on. So we're running off a reasonable weight. I thought there's a chance with his form that he still might be reasonably handicapped. And although he hasn't run yet this season, he has been a non-runner on 4 occasions because of fast ground. So we're going to need probably a little bit of rain to help his cause. But I still think he's a well-handicapped one. And I think eventually they'll get a big staying handicap chase out of him. The first-time cheek pieces and the claimer on would suggest he's not going to get much better chance at the weights. And he's probably a small each-way play. But this is really hard.
Yeah, I like that horse an awful lot. He'll probably be some kind of an each-way saver on the day. But it's another Gigginstown horse I quite like for the race, also for Gordon Elliott. Peter Michael, what about you?
Well, just when you were going through the race there, and Meeting of the Waters, I think, is one of the favourites. It brings me back to a race on the 26th of November at Cork, and Meeting of the Waters ran against McDermott. Now, I don't really read stuff on the internet and stuff like that, but a few friends of mine like to read race previews from
This is last season, right?
Like yeah.
I remember.
So the race preview for this race was McDermott was in it, and according to the Mullins, whoever does it, they said McDermott has a decent chance. He was around 6-4 or 7-4. I'm not sure of his odds. And Meeting of the Waters, they said, would have to improve to have a chance. Meeting of the Waters was around 16-1.
Back to even money. Even money from 16-1, and McDermott drifted out from 5-2 to 7-4 to whatever it was. And Meeting of the Waters, who had to improve and was back from 16-1 to even money, won on the bridle. Do you remember who owned Meeting of the Waters that day?
Paul Byrne. Yeah.
No. Patrick owned him.
No. Well,
Patrick owned him for that race. Paul Byrne owned him for this race, and then JP bought him.
Well, I would be surprised if Patrick owned him for that race.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, I would be pretty confident.
No, it was under his name.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It was under. So it would have been. But anyway, it just shows you what chance we have if the trainers think a horse needs to improve, and he gets back from 18-1 to even money, and he wins doing handstands.
Winning owner P.W. Mullins, Meeting of the Waters.
Yeah. I don't look. It's 10-1 the field. I'd only be guessing if I picked in this race. To be honest, I don't have a clue. I'll probably do more work on it closer to the time. But when you see the final declarations, it's impossible to pick a selection now. So I'm going to pass on this one, lads. I don't want to put up a selection just for the sake of it.
That's fair enough. I quite admire that. Andy.
Yeah, the same. I've got. It's a flipping hard race, right? But I'll just chuck 3 stats out there that people can buy for the final runners when we know them. 5 of the last 6 have had 10 stone 9 or less.
Yes.
We've not had a winning favourite, at least in the last 10 years, as far as I can see. But that tells us everything about the competitiveness of the race. And in terms of age, I think 9 of the last 10 have been aged 8 or younger. So any double figure ages in there, and possibly 9-year-olds you can probably rule out as well. But yeah, look, pin job in it, really.
Sorry, Andy, I don't mean to come. Is that the final decks out for that race?
No.
Oh yeah, they might be actually. You're right. Yeah.
Yeah, because I see every jockey's jocked up, which is unusual, unless it is the final one. I don't.
Yeah, no, I think my fingers catch. I just refreshed it, and you're right. They are all. Got jockeys now. So yeah, that is. Yeah. We've got 28 runners, haven't we? So yeah, you're right. Anyway, there's 3 stats there. Age, weight, and whatever. But a lot of those at the top of the market tick. I tick the age stat anyway, but a lot of them have got. A fair chunk of weight as well. There's a Gordon Elliott one in there, that will do first time blinkers. That's only got 10 stone 2, 7-year-old, possibly first. Just at a quick glance stands out a little bit of the stats. But yeah,
I'd say
you have to give this race credit. 0 is 150. It's worth 200,000. The winner getting 110,000. You have to. I mean, they're running in Kempton Grade 1s now. I know Ireland as well is not great for prize money at all. But there's some of the races the superstars running for 60 grand or something like that, and these are the best horses in the world, which is absolutely pathetic.
Yeah, I'd say Spanish Harlem is better than 138, but I can't trust him. I don't know. There's a day that horse is going to pop up, and it might very well be this race. Jeff Banks is going 25-1 about Will Do. I don't think that's going to last a whole lot longer, lads. I really don't.
That's not bad, right?
He's down at the bottom of the weights. He's going to love to step up and trip. And he has the shape of, like, Gordon Elliott's winning all these big staying races. This is the shape of a fellow who's going to be well backed on the day. Like, real well backed on the day. In fact, stop press. He's gone 8-1 with Bet365.
Yeah, I'm seeing 12s with someone, and yeah, it might even be shorter.
Is this correct? So, Jeff Banks bet 25-1. It is correct.
Yeah.
That's not going to take that. Take that.
No, that's a huge price.
Punish Jeff Banks for going 25-1 about this fella. Sign up now. Use the promo code FFP500. If it goes wrong, you're eligible to get 10% of any net losses back after your first month of betting. But 25 to 1 is crazy. And he will not be that price on the day. And I think he can win. The blinkers go on and Sam Ewing's going to ride him. Yeah. Yeah. Will do for me. Okay. Best bets for day 2 of the festive racing. Adam Mills.
I'm going to go away from the races we previewed, just have a look at a couple that the bets that stood out for me.
Yes.
The first is in the Juvenile finale at Chepstow. The market is currently being formed by Nietzsche Has, who is probably just about the best French 3-year-old this season. He is booked in for stud duties from February onwards, so the poor lad's being sent to Chepstow on the Friday before New Year's, before he gets to get more exciting times. But I just thought he was way too short at around 7-4. The value bet in that is OPEC for James Owen. Sam Tristan-Davies has already topped up, so I think that's where they're going.
Absolutely.
OPEC beat Quantock Hills at Wetherby when I thought Quantock Hills was a certainty. Quantock Hills has come out dead heated for the Triumph Fatal Trial since. I don't think Nietzsche Has is good enough to give OPEC £7. So I thought that was a value bet. The other one that sort of half interested me on the day, Morning Air has got declarations both in the Juvenile finale and in the introductory 3-year-old hurdle at Kempton. I was really impressed by what Morning Air did at Leicester the other day. It was a nothing race, but that horse bolted up. It's quite unusual to see Venetia get a French one off the flat and press on so quickly. If Morning Air went to Kempton, I think she'd be a pretty good thing, but there's no prizes for that. But those would be the other two that I'd look at. The best bet would be OPEC in the Juvenile finale.
Love that OPEC. Big fan of him. Peter Michael, your best bet for the 27th?
Yeah, I have to say I'm a fan of OPEC as well. I put him up in my private service there last time he won. I thought he was some value. Obviously, we don't know the final decks yet for most of the races, so it's hard to pick. But of the ones we've previewed, I'll go with Ballyburn.
And Andy?
Matador, 2:30 Kempton, Desert Orchid on the up. Others are on the way out, as we said. I think that's the one to beat for Venetia to carry on her run.
Each way double, Monbeg Genius and will do. Take the 2 toughest races on the day and go, yeah, screw it. Let's go. Throw in Ballyburn for the patent. Just do a patent. Good thing. These 2 boys are wrong. This man is right.
Gino.
No. Each way patent. Ballyburn gets you off to a flyer, and then Monbeg Genius wins the Welsh Grand National, and then Will Do wins the Petty Power, and you take 25 to 1 of Jeff Banks' money, which for some reason we're still getting, and we'll gladly take and not ask any questions about it whatsoever. Right, that is the best bets for day 2 of the Christmas racing.
The Final Furlong Podcast is proudly brought to you by Jeff Banks Bet. Get up to £500 refunded as real money for new Jeff Banks online accounts after your first month of betting. Use promo code FFP500 at jeffbanks.bet.